we're doing live streaming. Come to CAPA's annual.
Come everyone, join us and celebrate CAPA.
Yes. Great to see you.
Yes, good to see you. You're doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I just had lunch there. I went to my mom just went there.
Over here, Julie? Take over here.
Can I join them? Hello. Hi, how are you? Can I have your biscuit? Oh my god, okay. I'll take more pictures. Sure. Hi. Welcome. Join the video. Thank you. Get glad to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. We have breakfast over there. You got coffee? Yes.
start in about 5 minutes. Thank you.
Eat some breakfast. I was Stay focused. Let's go.
Good morning again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending our 25 CAPA Leadership Summit. My name is Dr. Laurel Stevens, and
I am Yuri Watawa. Very happy to see everyone here. And this is our signature event for CAPA. We have it every year. And today, this year, we want to make it a little different by inviting our panelists, women. But it doesn't mean that this event is for me. This event is just and whatever we can invite. Please enjoy the event. And first, we would like to invite Lisa to give invocation address. Thank you.
I gotta be able to speak to the mic, and I don't have my little stepper for this podium. It's built for tall people. First, I wanna, I see you can see this. First, I wanna thank Dr. Muyuri for inviting me today, this special morning, to spend time with all of you extraordinary women leaders. So let's give her a round of applause. What a joy and honor it is to stand among such brilliance, women of vision, courage, and heart. Today, this room is full of courage and overflows with strength and diversity. We come from different communities, cultures, and corporations. We carry stories of triumph and resilience. Our journeys filled with trials into who we are today. And despite our many paths, we are gathered here for one unifying purpose. That is to empower women, to inspire greatness, and to pave the way for the next generation of women leaders. To give, because God Himself placed that desires to give. Our degrees, titles, and are remarkable. And we give credit to ourselves for working hard for that. But I want to remind you all of one perfect leader whose example transcends all status and success. This leader was selfless, a servant at heart, and came not to serve, but to serve us all today. That leader is Jesus Christ, the model of servant leadership. Over 2,000 years ago, He walked among us with humility and grace. He lifted the broken, valued the forgotten, and led by love. Not from power, but from His compassion of heart. This, my sisters and brothers, is the kind of leadership the world is hungry for. A leadership that gives without expecting in return. A leader that doesn't care about his title. A leadership that serves from the heart. As women, we have been divinely designed with this capacity to nurture, to encourage, to lead with empathy. Whether we are mothers, sisters, daughters, mentors, or friends, our power lies not in control, but in care. When we lift others up, we elevate ourselves automatically. When we lead through service, we create lasting impact. We touch generations yet to come. That's what we're here for. So as we begin this summit, let us pause and invite the greater power deities, the source of all wisdom and strength, to guide us. So I ask everyone to bow their heads and we pray. Lord Heavenly Father, I thank you for bringing us safely here to this gathering. We ask that you open our hearts and minds, receive your wisdom and grace. Inspire us to lead with compassion, humility, and courage. Teach us to serve with a purpose, to recognize that true greatness lies not in being served, but in serving others well. Grant us, Lord, strength with a journey that sometimes it feels heavy. Grant us discernment when choices seem unclear. Grant us the courage to lead boldly with love and as our foundation and service as our mission. May this leadership summit not only sharpen our minds, but transform our hearts. May the seeds of inspiration we plant today blossom into empowerment for generations of women who will follow. We, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, the ultimate servant leader. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Bud. So our next speaker is the current president of CAPA, Ms. Julie Rosario.
Thank you, Dr. Miriam. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good morning. On behalf of Council of Asian Pacific America, it is my great honor to welcome you all to the 2025 CAPA Leadership Summit. Today, we come together as change makers to celebrate a shared purpose. One another to lead with courage, compassion, and vision. This year's theme, Paving the Way for the Next Generation of Women's Leaders, captures the spirit of progress and empowerment that defines our community. Leadership today is not about titles or positions. It's about purpose, integrity, and the courage to uplift others. It's about ensuring that every voice, especially those of women and young leaders, is heard, valued, and supported. At CAPA, our mission is to unite Asian Pacific Americans and the community at large through culture, education, and community service. That's our CAPA mission. Guides everything we do, and today's summit is an example of that commitment. Through dialogue, mentorship, and collaboration, we are building bridges that strengthen our communities and open doors for future generations. I want to express my deepest gratitude to our summit chairperson, Dr. Miriam Cabral-Stevens. Thank you. And to our co-chairperson, Dr. Mayuri Wadwahan. Thank you. And to their team, to their leadership and dedication to bring this event to life. And to all CAPA board, advisors, and volunteers, thank you everyone. My heartfelt thanks also go to our keynote speaker, Dr. Connie Tingson Gatos. She's right there. And our inspirational speaker, State Senator Stephanie Chan. Thank you. And later in the afternoon, State Senator Rosemary Bayo, wisdom and passion for public service. Also grateful to our corporate sponsor, EMU, HDIS, DTE, Erica, thank you, and Mayback, Sam, thank you, and to our community and academic partners, Pelanco, Thai American Association of Michigan, Asian Indian Women Association, Michigan Circle of Pampangueño, Laotian American Community of Michigan, Julie Ryan Philippine Cuisine, MI India, Board System Builder, and EMU College of Health and Human Services for their steadfast support in advancing leadership and equity. To our moderator, facilitator, and all attendees, thank you for being here. Your presence reflects a shared belief that leadership is not a solo journey. but a collective effort to empower and inspire others. I encourage to engage fully, connect deeply, forward the lesson you learned today into your community. Together, we are shaping a future leadership reflect a diversity, strength, and resilience of our communities. Let this summit remind us that when we empower one another, we all rise. Thank you and wish you a meaningful and inspiring summit. Thank you, everyone. Asian American woman elected to Michigan legislature. She worked as a community organizer in Detroit for nearly 2 terms in Michigan, House Representative, then as a Democratic floor leader for her first term in the Senate. Let's welcome our State Senator Stephanie Chan.
Everyone, I am so honored to be here, and so thank you very much to CAPA for inviting me, and also thank you for putting on this really important event. I love the theme of this event, paving the way for the next generation of women leaders. It was mentioned in my bio, I'm the first Asian American woman that was elected to the Michigan State Legislature, and I think often about how long it took me to make the decision to run. And it reminds me that I think oftentimes as women and also as young women, how sometimes we put up barriers. There are barriers that exist and then also barriers that we put up for ourselves. And so it's so important that as women, we're actually here to support one another and lift up one another and also continue to really inspire each other and also grow our own leadership skills and experiences. And I know that I wouldn't be here doing the work that I have been doing over the past 11 years in front of the support of many women of color in my community. So it's so this morning. And I just want to share very briefly about my journey and then have a few inspirational quotes that I gathered from a few Asian American heroes of mine. So I'm a daughter of Taiwanese American immigrants who came to this country looking for a better opportunity. And I worked as a community organizer in Detroit for about a decade. And it was not part of my plan originally to run for office. But it became an opportunity that arose when my predecessor in the State House basically was ending her term in the Michigan State House. And as I mentioned, it took me a really long time to decide to run. Many of the women here may have similar experiences where you've been asked to take on some type of leadership role, and maybe you question yourself about whether or not you have the right experience or know enough. For me, it was a 6-month-long journey of trying to figure out if I should run, because I had a lot of doubt about whether or not I knew enough about all the issues, if I would be able to garner enough support in my district to be able to win, and also just if it was the right thing for me. But people kept pushing me. And so I think that hopefully this is a room of women who will continue to push each other to be able to go as well. So a couple of quotes. So one thing that I wanted to share, some of you know the story of Fred Korematsu. A couple years ago, with the help of many people, including Roland Wong and others in the state, we finally passed legislation to mark January 30th in the state of Michigan as Fred Korematsu Day. How many of you know who Fred Korematsu was? Okay, we got a few hands. So Fred Korematsu, at the age of 23, defied the American government's Japanese American internment order. Imagine being 23 years old and saying, I'm going to stand up against an unconstitutional, unjust, unconstitutional executive order. And so, he was arrested, he was imprisoned, later his conviction, but he made a really bold decision at such a young age. And I think oftentimes about Fred Korematsu and what was I doing when I was 23 years old, and would I have had that same courage to be able to stand up for what I believe in? And so he later received the Presidential Medal of Freedom many years later, I believe in the 1990s. But he's such an example of someone who was able to step forward on behalf of his community and do something that it was probably, a bit scary. Here's a quote from Fred Korematsu. The feeling that something is wrong, don't be afraid to speak up. And I think this quote is really important, especially right now, because there are a lot of things that are happening in our communities that are a little bit scary, and a lot of things where, certain parts of our immigrant communities are under attack. Or sometimes we might see something going on in the news that's happening half a world away, or something even in our own neighborhoods where we realize that what's happening is not right. And so sometimes it can feel a little scary to speak up. But I would encourage all of us, especially as Asian Americans and mostly Asian American women in this room, that it's probably our responsibility to speak up, especially when it's folks in our own community that might be under attack or might be feeling afraid. So the next quote I wanted to share is from one of my heroes, Grace Lee Boggs, who was a Chinese American leader, activist, writer, philosopher, movement leader. And I had the opportunity, when I first moved to Detroit after college, from 2005 to 2007, actually living at the Boggs Center. And she lived to the age of 100. And actually this month marks the 10th anniversary of her death. She passed away in 2015. But she is someone that I have a lot of fond memories of, as well as a lot of respect for in terms of the work that she did in Detroit. So, unless you take yourself as belonging to it and responsible for change. So I would encourage all of us in this room to try to think of one thing that you've observed in your community that needs changing. And maybe you sometimes saw something that you knew was wrong or something that needed changing, and you hoped that maybe someone else might take care of it. Well, what would that change look like if someone else were to take care of it? And why couldn't it be you that helps make that change? So I would encourage you to think of that. So what is one thing that you have observed that needs changing in your community? What would that change look like? And what if it were you that made that change? So the last quote I wanted to share is another quote from Grace Lee Boggs. I'm a big Grace Lee Boggs fan, and this is the quote. I think we have to rethink the concept of leader, because leader implies follower. And so many, not so many, but I think we need to appropriately embrace the idea that we are the leaders that we've been looking for. So you are a leader because you are leaders, even if you don't necessarily feel yet that you are a leader. So I'm really hopeful that you'll take away and find a way to incorporate whatever you learn into your journey as a leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Chang. It is very delightful to see you. Every Asian gathering and to hear and your inspiration to all of us here, that what you have done for the community. Thank you so much. And I would like to go back a little to Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for coming. And Lisa is also AAA's agency and hula dance. Interested in getting hula dance for your event, please contact her. Next, I would like to invite Asi to introduce our new speaker. Asi is an advisory board of CAPA, and she was a CAPA president in the past. Please welcome Asi.
Good morning. I'm honored to introduce the keynote speaker. I've known her for more than 30 years, so I'm really privileged to say that she's been part of my life for that length of time. So she serves as Associate Vice President of Student Life at the University of Michigan and previously held roles at Madonna University and Michigan State University. With a distinguished 30-year career in higher education, she has received numerous accolades from community organizations and organizations for her exceptional contributions to education and community service, including recognition for breaking the glass ceiling. She is celebrated as a national exemplary mentor and a pioneering community educator, especially in mentoring aspiring executive women leaders at national forums. She serves on the advisory board for the Council of Asian Pacific Americans and just completed her term as chair of the statewide Michigan American Council on Education Women's Network. Let's please give a heartwarming welcome to Dr. Connie Tinson Gatu.
Good morning. Okay, if you better than that. Good morning. Okay, first give yourselves a round of applause for being here on a Saturday morning. I have to say, it's incredibly exciting to see individuals who want to be here, who are here to take the time. And I just want to start out by, Tita Arce, I call her Tita Arce for a long time, knew me as an undergraduate student. In a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about those experiences. But how many of you are students in the room? Raise your hand, nice and high. I know I have one student with me from home. So making a choice to be here, because you had a lot of choices, including sleeping in. For the rest of you, I want to start out by saying what I'm going to share with you. The topic is such a moving topic, like Senator Chang, who I also got the pleasure of knowing way back in the day, is really something that's relevant to all of us. It's not really just about young women. It's actually how leadership shows up for every single individual, both in this room and who couldn't be here today, right? So if you have no idea about why you're here because someone brought you here or volunteered you to be here, hopefully in what I have to share, there's a nugget here that you can pass on when you have a conversation with someone later, today, tomorrow, and say, I attended this session and something was said to me or I heard something that really made me think about it. So my hope for you is that something resonates with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But my hope is you make a choice not to only physically be here, but to be mentally here. Because I also know, I have mastered it myself, the ability to look like I'm totally present and mentally absent. Because I'm thinking about all the things I have to do this weekend, or all the things I want to do. So again, it's a choice. Give yourself this gift today, to really immerse yourself in some thinking, do some reflecting about who you are and what you want to do in the time that we have. So with that, I just want to say much kudos and thanks to CAPA for this leadership summit and also for the incredible hospitality from Eastern Michigan University. It goes a long way, and you can see it takes a village. Volunteers, people who made calls, people who invited people, all of that. Can you feel the energy in this room? Can you? If you're not paying attention, I know you've got to feel the energy in this room, because do you know what the energy is? Yes, it's the future. The energy we are talking about is the future. What excites me most about this gathering is it's about action. The title itself is about action. How empowerment shows up in real life, in moments that are big and small. So what I want you to explore today with me is what does empowerment in action look like? What does it look like? Can you touch it? Can you think about it? Can you see it? If someone asked you to describe it, what would it look like? How are young women redefining leadership in this shifting climate? And it is shifting, as we just heard. It's shifting every hour, every minute. And how can each of us live out an authentic, courageous, and yes, sometimes it's imperfect. There is no perfect. We just keep trying over and over again with the hopes of getting it right. I want you to take a moment. Okay, ready? This is the interactive part. Look around the room. Look around the room. Who's here? Who's here, but also who's not here? Who's not here that you know should have been here? They're not here. But look around who's here. Do you know people? I just met a student here who didn't know anybody in the room. Who didn't know anybody and saw it on a flyer as a first-year college student, I'm not going to call them out, but came and took the courage to wake up in the morning and be here. What does that say? That's courage. It's courage. I hope in these moments, whether we're eating or mingling or breaking, that we have a chance to meet at least 3 people that we didn't know before we got here. That is the goal. This is not about staying with the people you already knew. This is about meeting new people and finding out who they are and what they're about. So think about this as a possibility. I'm going to invite you to meet people and share this, consider it a spark. What's a spark? We watched the spree, where we live in Livonia, fireworks and all. Sparks, right? What's going to ripple not only in this room, but beyond these walls? So let's savor in that, okay? Do you agree? Are you with me? Okay, there's no sleeping in here. I don't know if you know that, but I've taught many years. There's no sleeping, and if I see you snoozing, I'm going to move my mic closer to you. So I'm telling you now. All right, so let me start out with a little story. Years ago, when I was an undergraduate student, don't ask me what year, I was searching for a sense of belonging. There weren't many spaces that reflected my heritage or my experiences as an Asian Pacific American. So I did what many of you would have thought, right? You don't see something, what do you do? It doesn't exist. In fact, I know for a fact many of you have done that many times over in starting many incredible community organizations. In fact, many of you are leading them right now, or have led them, or keep getting asked to lead them. So what do? You build something. If you don't see it, you create it. So I had this pleasure of serving as president of what was then the Asian Pacific American Student Organization. We called it APASO. And later, I had the chance to co-found the Philippine American Student Society, where it doesn't really matter, but it kind of does matter, because you know where I work, Michigan State University. We have so many incredible universities in the state. If you're not paying attention, higher education is in the state of Michigan, represented through and through. We have so many incredible institutions. So what did I call it? I didn't call it leadership when I started it. I called it survival. I wanted a community, I wanted visibility. So when I look back, what was Empower in Action? That was empowerment in action. Not because I had a plan, I didn't have a title, I didn't have a job, but because I took one small step, one brave step toward creating space, just like the student who took one brave step to be here today. I wanted something to exist. Empowerment in action isn't about waiting for someone to give you permission. You don't have to wait for permission. It's about turning your values into movement. Movement. I'm about to ask you, but you don't have to move around, because I know it's hard to sit for a long time, right? Body starts to chill, you want to go into sleep mode, but you gotta have movement. Movement is not just physical. Movement is a concept. It's courage to say, I'm gonna start something. And do you know, my very first time before I became president, and some of you have heard this before, I was as shy as you would not even believe. People didn't even think I spoke until I was 18 years old, because I was the quietest person in the room. I was just quiet, very shy. So here I am, imagine, I'm giving a speech to run for president, and my paper's shaking, and I'm sweating, because the paper's melting in my hand because I'm so nervous. I'm shaking, trying to tell them, why should you vote for me? Would you vote for someone who's like shaking like this? But they gave me a chance. Why? Because I showed up every week, even though I was quiet, faithfully committed to being a part of an organization. I believe it was in my actions. I don't think it was just in my words, right? People are very charismatic. People will tell you great things. But at the end of the day, it's got to match in your actions. I've seen some of the most compelling speakers, but the actions don't match. So you gotta ask yourself, what does empowerment look like? What I believe I had was curiosity. I had this deep sense of community and this belief that leadership could look different. It could be relational, it could be joyful, it could be unapologetically authentic, even though I hadn't seen it before. There weren't a lot of leaders that looked like me, acted like me. And honestly, we didn't have a playbook. I don't know about you, when you cook, do you have a recipe book? I know my mom, my grandma, many people who are incredible cooks, they don't use recipes. It's all about taste. It's all about experiment. I didn't have a playbook for building leaders. We were building a movement of empowerment. We were making space for voices, especially those that hadn't been heard before. Sometimes leadership isn't just about standing in front of the room, even though I'm doing that right now. It's about lifting the curtain. Do you see the Wizard of Oz? Who's seen the Wizard of Oz? It's behind the curtain. Turning up the lights. Making sure there's plenty of room for the stage. This is a big stage. I might invite all of you to come up here, but I won't, because then time will pass. So let me shift a little bit. Let's talk about shifting climate. The world you're stepping into, the world we're in right now as leaders is complex. That is an understatement. Polarization, there's challenges to social justice, we've got global challenges, there's anxiety to the nth power. I don't know if you don't know, but mental health is #1 in terms of all students, not just at the college level, all the way through, from kindergarten all the way. Even post-secondary, it's mental health. Because the world is shifting. We need leadership. I don't know if you know this, but we need leadership. And not just in title or position, it's action. So let me give some examples of what I saw and have experienced with young women and what they're doing to reshape leadership. What does it look like? What I have seen in my 30-year career, and I feel as a beneficiary, is that young women leaders are saying this: leadership is not just about hierarchy. You know what I mean by hierarchy? It's not just this, you're up here and we're down here. It's about collaboration. It's not about perfection. It's about purpose. It's not about power over others. It's about power with others. This is a very different mindset of what leadership could look like. Think about how social movements start today. They're often led by young women and young people through social media. Who uses social media? It doesn't matter what, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, name your pick. But it's not for vanity, it's for visibility. They lead through storytelling, coalition building, empathy, sometimes through humor that just arms and connects. I see young women with heart and strategy. Young is a relative term. I don't mean by age and number. It's young in spirit, right? It's young in spirit. I have a feeling that when I retire, which is not yet, because I haven't either won the lottery or received an inheritance, so I need to keep working. I believe even when I retire, I'm going to be young in spirit, because it's a choice, it's a mindset. This is about advocating for sustainability, taking care of things, and so there's enough to go around. It's about equity in pay. There's about opportunity, calling for mental health resources, not just as a luxury, but because it's necessary for our society to be better. This is leadership in a shifting world. We need to be adaptive, we need to be values-driven, and we need to be human. What does it mean to be human? Think about that. I don't just mean the biology. I know there's some nursing majors, there's nurses in here, there's doctors in here. I mean human. What does that mean? So has anyone read the book or heard of Jacinda Ardern? Who's heard of Jacinda Ardern? Few people. Jacinda Ardern, here's your quiz for the day, just wrote a memoir. It's called A Different Kind of Power. She's the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. And did you know that she was the world's, not just the countries, not just the regions, the world's youngest female head of government at 37 years old. 37 years old. So let's think about what she said, some lessons that she talked about. Empathy is not a weakness, it's wisdom. She led New Zealand through terrorism, natural disaster, a pandemic. She proved that kindness and competence are not opposites. They amplify one another. Competence and kindness, such a thing. They amplify one another. When others relied on press releases, she showed up. When she embraced families that were grieving, she listened deeply. She led with empathy as her armor, not just photo ops. Vulnerability is a strength. That was her second lesson. She opened up about facing self-doubt. She talked about imposter syndrome. Who knows what imposter syndrome is? It's very real. Even with the most talented people, they feel like they're an imposter. Some people have this idea that, am I good enough? Should I be here? We just heard that a few minutes ago from Senator Chang. She's a senator and recognizes that we have those moments. She named her struggles publicly. She didn't hide it. She didn't act perfect. She didn't say, I have no problems. She said, look, I'm human too. She invited connection rather than isolation. She said, let's connect. Even if we physically can't be together in the pandemic, let's connect virtually. Let's connect on FaceTime. Whatever the platform, let's connect. Let's connect 6 feet apart, but let's connect, right? Vulnerability is a bridge. It reminds us all that you are never alone. And that's one of the challenges that mental health brings us, is sometimes you feel alone. Do I feel alone in this? The third lesson, boundaries and balance matter. She said that she acknowledged the toll that public service took on her and her family, her energy, her family, her spirit. Her decision to step away was not about being defeated. It was a declaration that sustainability is not selfish. It's essential. Sometimes you have to check out. Sometimes I can't be at the event. It's not because I don't care, but sometimes my family matters too. Sometimes sleeping is important. Sometimes actually going for a walk is important because it's about the whole person, right? Not just who we are in our title, not just who we are in positions, but leadership, she said, should not require self-erasure. I should not erase who I am because I'm in a leadership role. You can and should step back to preserve your purpose. That's why I'm so fascinated when I see positional leaders and I say, what's going on? What's happening? And they don't just talk about the things they do in their work. They talk about, we're going to parent-teacher conferences. We're going to go do the laundry. Yay! We're going to go walk the dog. That's a whole person. We're going to visit family members who've been alone. So every person in this room, you don't have to sacrifice your well-being to prove your worth. Your worth is not based on sacrificing every ounce of who you are. Your true power lies in staying aligned with your values, never running on empty. Have you ever driven a car and the gas is like just about to disappear, evaporate? There have been moments. Don't run on empty, because you'll be walking a long time to the gas station, right? Pay attention. Where's the fuel coming from? Remember, rest is leadership. Sometimes it's about stepping up. Have you ever heard the saying, step up, step back? Sometimes it's the loudest person in the room. But sometimes, just because you know the answer, doesn't mean you have to be the one saying it. Sometimes you can step back for a minute and let other people have a chance. Let them learn about it. Just because you know it, doesn't mean you have to say it every single time. Step up and step back. That's important. It's a lesson. So let's take a pulse. Are you ready? Is your finger on the pulse? Check your pulse. Make sure you're still there. Look inward. I'm going to ask you 4 questions. Okay? I want you to think about, where have you already shown up as a leader, even if you didn't have a title? Where in your life have you shown up as a leader, even without a title? A 10-year-old can show up as a leader even without a title. Did you rescue a group project on the verge of collapse? Did you help fix that? Did you speak up about something wrong? We just heard that lesson and we didn't even compare notes. Even when it was hard. Did you simply care quietly when it mattered most? Think about that. Okay, this is the moment. For 1 minute, not 10, turn to someone next to you. Not 10, 1 minute. Turn to someone next to you and share what you thought. Just, have you been a leader? Share with someone right now. Was I ever a leader? What does it look like? Go ahead, share it with someone. 1 minute. Where have you shown up as a leader? Okay, are you back? All right, now I know you're still awake. So, what values are guiding? This is the question. Think about this. What values are guiding the way you lead right now? What do you value that's guiding how you lead? And you're not just leading organizations, you're leading yourself, you're leading your loved ones, you're leading your family. I read for almost 20 years Gates Millennium Scholarship applications, and they were long applications. They were 25 pages each. And I read students telling us all about their world. And there were students who were leading the oldest member in their family, leading 5 siblings. It's not just about position. It's not just about pay. You could be leading your neighborhood for a cleanup. So who do you want to be? Not just on LinkedIn, not just on social media, but in the lives that we touch every day. That's the question. Why does your voice and your leadership matter right now? Why does your voice and your leadership matter? I can tell you why, but do you know why? Why does every single person in this room's voice, no matter what your age, no matter where you came from, no matter where you live, no matter how much money you have or don't have, all of the things, why does your voice matter right now? The world needs ideas. My dad worked for 34 years at General Motors, did not go to college, but was very talented and never missed a single day, which is impressive to me, calling in sick. Like he got awards year after year for not calling in sick. I just thought, how fascinating. But they had an idea box. And do you know how many times he got bonuses for putting in an idea? For someone who didn't have a college degree. He put in an idea on how to improve the work environment. He put in an idea about how to improve the quality of their work. And then the next time you get like a little nice check and a thank you letter for the idea. You just don't know how your ideas can be affecting others. And sometimes they don't always require pay. But he did it. He didn't even know he was getting it. He just did it because he knew it would improve the work. This is what matters right now. So how does improvement in action, what does it look like? This is what it looks like. Jacinda Ardern, our Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, it looks like guiding a nation with empathy and conviction. What does it look like to a student, those that raised your hands? It looks like I was once, when I was a student, building a community from scratch. It looks like you raising your hand, taking up space, making sure the door stays open for the next person to walk through. Remember to laugh. You gotta rest. You have to celebrate one another's wins, not compete, not tear down, build up. Empowered women and other individuals, they don't just shatter glass ceilings. They build ladders and hold them for those coming after them. It is a myth that leadership is only for the loudest person in the room. I know I'm really animated, but if you knew me when I did, I would just be talking like that. Hello? You have to practice. You have to get better if you want to be better. Some of our greatest leaders are those who amplify others. Sometimes we picture leaders charging up this hill. But the magic, the really magic, it happens when you spot someone in the back and they say, come on up, I see you. I see you in the back. I see you. I know what you're doing. When I look back, my proudest moments aren't the fancy titles or the awards, truth be told. And I know sometimes that's what bios look like, but it's the people that I've mentored who now step up themselves. Sometimes in ways that I never even dreamed possible. They tell me stories. Each of us is a bridge. We need to stand taller because of who we are paving the way for, not just ourselves. Our job is not just to cross the bridge and say, hey, too bad, so sorry. No, it's to make sure people know where the bridge is, to reinforce it for those that are coming after. Sometimes fixing a few potholes, in Michigan we have a lot of potholes. Hopefully we're fixing the potholes. Along the way, with the wisdom for these detours, it's not always a straight line, right? Think about your life. Was it always a straight line? Did you have everything figured out? There were no detours? Life is about detours. But you keep going. Just coming here was a detour. I don't know about you, but I was circling. And I was trying to get here, but there was a detour. As we step forward from this gathering, I want you to take these thoughts. Leadership is not just title or position. It's not just a destination, getting to the end. It is a daily practice. Daily practice. Empowerment is not a single feeling. It's not like, oh, I feel empowered. Oh. Colleen, are you listening? Empowerment isn't just a single feeling. It's a series of all these small, courageous acts. It's coming to show up today. It's inviting someone to be here. It's waking up and doing something nice for someone else. It takes courage. So keep showing up. You have to keep leading from the heart. I believe this wholeheartedly. It is not just our heads. Sometimes we're defined by how smart we are and all the things that are up here. It's this and this. We are reminded from Jacinda Ardern that you can be strong and kind and empathetic and decisive, humble and bold. Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm pressing the keyboard. Thank you. I'm going to not touch the keyboard. I'm going to You didn't tell me. You just had the things keep going, and I was just going because of my excitement. Empathetic, decisive, all at once. Leadership is about leaving people better than when you found them. Leave it better. Lead with empathy, it's your edge. Lead with authenticity, it's your differentiator. That's what makes you different. Lead with legacy in mind. Someone is always watching, learning, and quietly emulating your path. You don't even know it, and they're watching you. They're paying attention to learn the good things and the not so good things. We don't lift others by power and just holding it tightly. We rise together when we are generous. And remember on the days when the world feels heavy, and let me tell you, I've had a few heavy days. Last night was a heavy day. The text would not stop. But just find one small way in which you can make the room better for someone else. I appreciate you showing up today. I want you to think about leading boldly and pave your way. I was told that the book that I was referencing, there's a prize. So I get to pick a number. Do I get to pick a number? Up to what? Up to 55. Between 1 and 55. What's my number? I'm going to pick 30. Who's number 30?
Who's 30? Dr. Miriam.
Do you know your numbers? They don't know their number. Someone knows the number. Number 30 gets the book.
Dr. Miriam, 30.
pick another one. Number,
One of Lisa's group.
oh, number 30?
Lisa Gishu. Gishu Reeves. Lisa. Other platforms.
Another number, my favorite number, number 8.
That's my favorite number, but I won't hold back.
Number 8.
For the other Lisa. Lisa Park.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Good. Congratulations to the winners. Enjoy the book. It's pretty fascinating. So with that, I hope you feel like there's a nugget, yes? A takeaway, something that resonated, something you have more questions about. With that, I thank you for the opportunity to spend time with you today. And I hope that my words of message resonated with you. And again, I encourage you, not just with someone in the room, go out this weekend and tell someone all about, you missed the CAPA Leadership Summit. How could you miss the CAPA Leadership Summit? Let me tell you all about it. Remember, try to do that. Thank you so much and have a great day.
I just want to give recognition to Dr. Connie Pinson, our keynote speaker, for paving the way for the next generation of women leaders. Thank you so much.
Okay, I've been told, does anyone have a question? I'm happy, not that I can answer it, but I will try. Question? Yes, please.
How do you get into the Philippine American Yoga student body club?
How do you get into it? You show up. Yeah. There is a website, I don't mean to be funny. There's a website that lists all their meetings at U of M. But let me tell you, U of M isn't the only place.
Oh, I
There's
know.
so many incredible organizations.
I do know.
Yeah, yeah. What I would do is find out who the leadership is, find out when their meetings are, or an event,
Okay.
and then try to ask and see when they are and show up. Most of those events are free.
I'm not a student there yet, so.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? This is your moment. Where's the courage? Yeah.
No question, but you are an awesome speaker.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Boy, we are not disappointed at all for selecting her. She is very good speaker. And next one, the program is going to be a discussion. Please welcome the finalists, Steve, Erika, Sarah, Malika. Let me introduce Malika. Malika Wathawan is an engineer working for General Motors at a tech center in Warren. And she's my younger daughter. Let's give her our support for all the members. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for that introduction, and good morning, everybody. It's been a fantastic start to the day. Hope you feel invigorated and you're excited to hear more. So, as mentioned, my name is Malika Wathawan, and I'm honored moderator for today's panel in the lived experience of leaders, challenges, and resilience. I am excited to say that we're here to learn from these remarkable women who are on stage with me today. And these are women who are shaping industries, strengthening communities, and inspiring others through their stories and their examples. Their experience offers valuable lessons, fresh perspectives for anyone beginning their own leadership journey. So here's how our morning is going to unfold. We'll begin with a quick introduction to our panel, and then we'll move into our moderated discussion. So with that, I'm joined on stage with Sarah, Deep, and Erica, and their full bios are in your program, so please take a look. But I would love to hear from each of you. If you can briefly just give a quick introduction on yourselves, we're excited to hear from you. So Deep, I'll start with you. Pass the mic.
My name is Deep, real name Changpan Pamogong, and I am the founding member and president of the Lao Community of Michigan, also known as the Ocean American Community of Michigan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I come to you from Larsa Banquet. I'm one of the partners, and I'm very excited to hear your questions and be part of this program.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erica Schlaker. I work with GTE and their Community Affairs group. And I have to say, it's really amazing to look around and see so many people coming together to learn about leadership and how all of us can show up in a different way. And so I'm really proud to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, panelists. So we're going to jump right on into our discussion today. So we do have a few questions to ask our panel. So the first one here is going to be, how has your cultural heritage shaped your values and leadership style? So for this one, Erica, we're going to have you kick us off, and we'd love to hear from Sarah and Deep as well to see kind of what your thoughts are on this question as well.
Thank you so much. So I am first generation to America. My family is from Russia, and I think having that experience, watching them kind of come to an area they didn't know anything about, and watching them build something from the ground up really helped shape the way I view leadership. I think, creating a space where everybody can find belonging, where maybe they didn't feel that they had a place, has really helped me understand that it's about connections, it's about consistency, it's about being open-minded, and leadership is not about a title. It's not about your place in an organization, but it's about the way you make people feel, making people feel seen. And I think that that's really shaped the way that I view my work in the community and internally at DTE. And I think although I might not have a CEO title, making people feel that way has really created a space where I feel I lead in, with integrity and with care.
I am not first generation. I actually came to the United States when I was 11, so I had to learn English. English is my third language, so you kind of probably noticed the accent. And I lost my voice last night. But our heritage really, a lot of things come from the culture and the community, and they shape you. I did see a lot of people from my own community go through so much, and they led in different ways to come to this country and use all these opportunities to shape them. And you make a choice. Either you take the same route and take the opportunities and you start something new and you lead and you become part of a team, or you just decide to sleep in and do nothing. So our community definitely came together, stick together, supported each other, and definitely supported me to become a leader in a small way, but definitely a leader. Thank you.
Wow. I am also first generation, and I can relate to what Erica and Sarah also mentioned. And it is true, our culture heritage, it influences us in a lot of ways. There are expectations within our culture, which having to be as a refugee coming here and being taught the culture and our heritage and the expectation, and then having to fold that into the American way of living, it's it's a challenge, and I would say that if there is a will, there's a way. And my leadership is based on Mount Jai, which is basically the generosity of our hearts. What we do is we do give instead of take, and that's what I stand on.
Thank you, ladies. It's so interesting to hear your different stories, your backgrounds, and how much that has really made a difference for who you are today and what kind of leaders you are in your own space. So thank you so much for sharing that. So our next question for our panel is, what unique barriers have you faced as a female leader, and how have you grown through that? So with this one, Deep, I'm going to start with you, and we're curious to hear what your take is on this one.
Balancing cultural expectation, modesty and humility with the need to speak up and take initiative. That's what I would then handling on. Founding LACM was not something I intended. It was, again, what Stephanie Jan had mentioned earlier. Sometimes we need that push. I like to do things behind closed door. I like to secretly just help people and just help pave the way for them, uplift the community in any way that I could without any recognition. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years before LACM was founded. Until our community we had a meeting and everyone said, well, hey, we need a Lao community. We need someone to represent Laotian in the state of Michigan. We're all scattered. There's no particular organization like the Vietnamese, there's Filipino, and so forth. And so they said, let's do it. And so we just jumped right on it. I'm really grateful that we did that, because right when we started, we just kind of ran. It was like a sprint, and we've been busy ever since then. So that would be, but with our cultural expectation, again, I had to mold it and find loopholes to get our community to understand, especially for the elders, what their belief and how we can all agree at the same level. So that was the one thing that was a challenge to me. But I mean, we still have that challenge, but now that they have seen what we have done, it now has become a little bit lenient for us. And I mean, we do come across some brick wall here and there, but we still have to remind ourselves, I have to remind myself to stay focused and to do what's best for the community, and how these challenges just shape me to become a better and stronger person.
Well, my barriers, it wasn't only being a woman, but it was being a tiny woman. So a tiny woman from the Middle East, from a minority. We are a very small group of Christians from North Iraq. So I wasn't accepted by either, not from my own place and not here when I came here. So to here, I'm an Arab, let's just say it that way, and from there, I'm a Christian. So I was not accepted in either. I was looked down to and always questioned, can she really do it? I'm a very tough girl. I'm a workaholic. I studied. I knew how to pave that way, to cross all those barriers. I saw it. Education was the way. That was the first step, and then hard work and taking the opportunities of this country. It took a while, but it's been a great journey. And the biggest barrier is we just bought the banquet hall in June, and it's been great. We've been remodeling, we've been doing a lot, and I've crossed a lot of things, and it's been great.
I think, like many women, I've had moments where my seat at a table was questioned. I think oftentimes, not so much in my role right now, but earlier in my career, I was always the youngest in the department, youngest person sitting at the table. And even though I had a male counterpart next to me that was also young, they didn't have his confidence question quite as much as I did. And I think, over time I learned that you don't learn confidence. It's really just having that frame of mind. And so I started showing up to meetings and to opportunities with my head held high and continuing to show results, right? Proving that my worth was meant to be at those tables. And I think it's consistency. There was never a time that I dipped my head that I allowed somebody to really shake me, even if they did. On the outside, you would never know it. And I think continuing that consistency and showing up and that confidence just kind of stayed. And now in my role at DTE, I get to be in a community where people have no idea what my background is. They have no idea what my culture is. I'm somebody that I think I get asked if I'm every other culture other than my own. And I love that about me. But it's really afforded me an opportunity to see how people look at you and view you when they think you're one thing versus another. And I think my history has just allowed me to say, no matter what you think or what perception you may have, I show up confidently and consistently, and that's always allowed me to continue being at those tables and stepping into new ones.
Thank you so much, ladies. And I think it's a great message you bring up, confidence and consistency. I think we're going to hear that a lot today, and it's a great takeaway, I think, for the group here to just understand, keep showing up, keep being consistent, be where you feel like you want to be at, and don't let anyone sway you to say that you can't be sitting at those tables. Be a part of it. And I think it's so cool to hear that each of you have had unique barriers. Each of you have had different backgrounds and experiences that have shaped who you are. And just to see how you've been able to say, hey, these are challenges I have, but I'm going to move past those. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to keep showing up. Once again, just fantastic to hear. And thank you guys for sharing that message to us here today. So our next question for the panel here is, in what ways have you had to navigate or redefine expectations placed on women in your community? So Sarah, we're going to start you off with this one. I'll pass it to you.
I love this question. The expectation when I first started, I was very young, very motivated. I still am, but when I was very young, I was really, really motivated about all the animals' rights and women's rights and just to speak up and everything. First, I was hated for it, very judged for it, and limited and looked down to. But then the expectations started rising. If something happens to an animal, somebody would send me a message like, say something, post something, do something. If a natural disaster happens in a certain country, it would be me, oh, why don't you start something, go ahead, do something. And it took the bar higher and higher, and I started those charity things, and I actually flew back to a lot of countries. We took medical containers, we took milk to kids in certain places. I feel very proud. So the expectations changed as we went, from me starting as a 15-year-old to now I'm 32. But the expectation definitely changed. Now people expect me twice a year to start a charity event. And it's always something, and everybody supports it. Believe it or not, I don't have like an official thing. It's just my Snapchat, but it collects tens of thousands, and we actually take it back and we do things, yeah. So it's been great.
Thank you. I think many of us in the room could agree with me that as women, we are expected to be everything for everyone, right? We are the best at being our professional and career. We are the best at being a caregiver, a parent, a sister, a mom, all the things, right? We have these expectations, and I know culturally, at least for me, those expectations run very deep. Women are supposed to uphold a certain amount of responsibility in almost every aspect of their life, and it's very difficult. It can lead to a lot of burnout, and I think what I've learned is setting healthy boundaries and doing it with compassion and care, looking at my family members and saying, I love you so much and I want to do everything I can. I can't come to this one event, or I can't help your dog, right? Or even at work, I love being in the community. I love showing up for all of my partners, but this Sunday morning, I want to go to my son's basketball game, so I'm not going to attend. And I think a lot of that is difficult for women because we're pleasers and we want to be successful at all areas of life. And I think just taking a step back and looking at ourselves compassionately and setting those healthy boundaries are a way that we can continue to sustain being the best at different various areas of our lives, but doing it in a way that's kind to ourselves.
Lately, I would say I had to provide resources, connection, advise those who didn't have the correct information, those that had questions about the situations, their environments, in their personal level. That was the one thing that I had to do in helping navigating our women. And not knowing, for them to not know the information and having to make decisions because they didn't know, they were being taken advantage of. And that was my, one thing that I had to do, or many things I had to do to help our women community.
Thank you all for sharing your stories. It's so interesting to hear what you guys are doing in your communities, how you've had to navigate different challenges and different expectations, right, that are placed on you, and what you need to do to be able to not just help yourselves, but help others. And I think what you each are doing and what you've explained to us are great examples of how women step up and how they have to deal with different challenges that might come their way or different expectations, as we heard in your stories here, and how you do so, and how you are proceeding is making such a big difference in your communities too. So I just want to say thank you for that. So we are on to our last official question here. We're going to ask each of you to give us a little bit of insight. What advice would you give to women stepping into leadership for the first time? So we're going to start here. Deep, we'll have you kick off.
Lead with a purpose, not perfection. That is the one thing I learned. I was not ready to be a leader. I was not planning to be a leader. Even if I was appointed as the president, my motto is to help lead others to be at the same level.
Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you. They're going to discourage you, they're going to stop you, they're going to do everything. But if you believe, truly believe in yourself, no one can stop you. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'll say that. I would say there's a few things. First, you don't have to have all the right answers to walk into leadership. It's not about knowing what you need to become some sort of title. It's really about leading with influence, leading with compassion, and making people feel seen. The second thing I would also say is, find somebody that challenges you and that can mentor you. I think one of the wonderful things that DTE, and I'm sure any organizations across this community in this room right here, there are people that have aspects that you can lead from, and finding those people to help teach you and help guide you is everything. But also having their support and having that camaraderie helps you build that confidence to continue forward. And then I would also say, be real. I think a lot of times we have this facade that we feel like we have to present to be seen as a leader, and people can sniff that out. And so, if you want to lead, be authentic, be real, lead what matters to you, and lead in a way that people will want to believe in you and follow you because they see who you truly are and that you care.
Thank you, ladies. Those are powerful messages for us to take away today. And just wanted to briefly say, just appreciate your time and your insights. I know we've mentioned it before, each of you come from such different backgrounds and have become such influential leaders in your spaces. So it is so helpful for us here who similarly may have different backgrounds, who may work in different industries, just to see from others what can be done and how can you also elevate yourselves to be successful in your areas of business as well, and in your communities, of course. So I wanted to just thank you all one more time. Thank you, Sarah, Thief, and Erica, for your time. Thank you for your wisdom, and also wanted to once again just thank our planning committee and CAPA for hosting us today. It's an awesome thing we get to do, to come together here, listen to diverse stories and leaders, and take away such powerful messages as we have today. So let's continue to pave the way through action, allyship, from amplification of our stories, and just thank you all for being here and listening as well. So give it one last hand for our team and our panel. All right, so we'll pass the mic on.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for coming out here. I just want to say in the background, when I call this lady, everybody is so excited. And I do it. So thank you so much. Thank you, Malika. And this year, one more time, a round of applause for all of them. Thank you. We will take 5 minutes break for stretch out a little and then set up a new stage for the new group of families. Thank you. Let's go to the bathroom. Let's go have some coffee, whatever you want to do. Stretch out. You've been sitting for over 2 hours.